And if a population with radicals becomes more loyalist, they become but pops will react to this new situation since they don't want to starve. And now I have reached 7.6 million loyalists and gained 9 million loyalists within the last year. This trick can be helpful to reduce turmoil in a newly conquered state. Hello fellow data friends. It would be great if everybody would love the government, right? All we need is an unstable food supply and some modifier stacking. To achieve this goal, we need a better understanding of radicals and loyalists. This is the test save game of mine. We have a lot of radicals and some loyalists. In the census data screen, we can see a detailed overview of radicals and loyalists. But it seems like that each pop either has loyalists or radicals, never both. Loyalists and radicals are both the extreme ends of the same spectrum. And if a population with radicals becomes more loyalist, they become normal first. You need 2 steps to make a loyalist out of a radical or a radical out of a loyalist. We can actually verify this in game. Let's look at this big clerk population in Paris. They have about 150,000 radicals and a standard of living of 6. An increase in the standard of living makes a pop more loyal, right? So I reduce taxes. This changes the economical situation of this pop. When a full week passed, this income here will update. Now the pop has about 4,500 net income and earn progress towards the next wealth level. They will upgrade on the next weekly tick and we can watch what happens to the radicals. They decrease substantially. Let's wait some more, they will probably upgrade again. So a pop will always reduce existing radicals before it will develop loyalists. The base values are as follows. A pop will get 4% more loyalists if its standard of living increases by 1 level, and it will get 6% more radicals if it decreases by 1 level. So it's easier to get angry people than happy people. But what if we can change this? Let's start a fresh game and let's have a look on the modifier list of France. There are several modifiers which lower the number of radicals and increase the loyalists if the standard of living changes. We'll stack these modifiers until it's easier to make people happy and then abuse that. There are a lot of helpful modifiers and I will probably not get all of them, but France is in a good position to get enough of them. So let's start with the setup idea. I will try to get the following modifiers. The majority of France is of European heritage, so I will change the cultural exclusion to racial segregation. This gives an easy 5% modifier for loyalists and radicals for almost everyone. France already has the dedicated police force, which reduces radicals by 5% for each level. And all we need to go to level 5 is enough bureaucracy, which should be easy enough. I will try to get guaranteed liberties. It gives 5% for loyalists and radicals for each level, which is quite nice. And it raises the max level of the Home Affairs institution by itself. But to get this law, we need a better free speech law, and most interest groups don't want that. Guaranteed liberties is not needed, but it will be powerful. If you fail the divided monarchies journal entry, then you get the provisional government event. If you have an interest group with a positive stance on presidential republic, then the leader of such an interest group will be the new president. This is very likely the leader of the rural folk or the intelligentsia. Both endorse the right of assembly, so maybe I can get a government to change the free speech law. So I will try my best. Then there are some companies which gives bonuses to loyalists and radicals. Premium plantations does not seem well suited for France. I also don't think that gold is a good way to go. But Home Good Consortium and French Textiles give 10% each and they are not dependent on resources. There are some more like spinning and weaving and recordy, but I will probably aim for furniture and clothes. Then there are techs. Corporatism gives minus 10% for accepted cultures, which is easy to get. I will research this and use this as a time frame. So once I got this tech, I'll probably not play much longer, unless I'm near unlocking another modifier. Then there are government ratings. The lower levels give a huge debuff, while the higher levels give a massive buff. Getting this plus 25% bonus will be helpful. Similarly, the tax levels play a huge role in radicals and loyalists. And they give government points, so the taxation level will have a huge impact. So far my plans. I will set the stage and then see you to discuss the results and how to make everyone happy. By the way, would you be interested in watching me play? Tell me in the comments and I will consider it depending on the resonance. Okay, it is the year 1852 and I've been quite successful. I got the level 5 law enforcement and the level 4 guaranteed liberties home affairs. I enacted racial segregation. I got the bonuses from the companies. I can change the tax levels at will, so this is fine anyway. But even on low taxes, I will probably not get the Loyalists from the government bonus. Maybe if we have less radicals, but let's see. So I set the taxes to normal for now, and then we look at the modifiers. For accepted cultures and religions, we have in total minus 80% radicals from decreases of standard of living and plus 60% loyalists from increases of standard of living. Multiplying this with the base values, we get 6.4% loyalists if the standard of living increases, and we get 1.2% more radicals if the standard of living decreases. So if we can seesaw the standard of living of our population, we will make everyone loyal. Of course, we can change taxes to influence the standard of living, but you might need or want the additional modifiers from low taxes for more effect. And plus 50% more radicals is a lot, so you probably only want to change between low and normal taxes. Or you can just set the taxes to very low, keep it there and influence the food supply. If I set the wheat farms to simple farming and to citrus orchards, then I lower the grain supply by about 4k grain. In my case, I would cut the supply in half and massively increase the costs of living. Thus many people will lose standard of living, and later I will increase the supply and everyone will gain standard of living, and they will be thankful. But pops will react to this new situation since they don't want to starve. They will buy less of this suddenly expensive grain and buy more meat, fish, groceries and fruits. So I will lower the production of everything food related. Changing from single crop to orchards is still worth it. Fruit is worth 1.5 grain in terms of need, but you only gain half as much fruit. And also please note that food will most likely only affect the lower strata. The poor pops are the ones who pay the most percentage of their income for food, but the majority of radicals will usually be from your lower class anyway. If you want to specifically affect the middle or higher strata, you need to affect the supply for other goods. Okay, I will set the taxes to very low to get the best modifier. This will cost some money, so I have saved up some before. I wait some months to make sure that the dust from changing the taxes from initially very high to very low settles. It takes about 1 month for the standard of living to change one level up or down. Okay, seems like we stopped at about 6 million radicals. Time to tank the standard of living by lowering the food supply. We will watch this peasant pop. They have 280,000 radicals. Okay, their income dropped a lot and they will lose standard of living. Now they demoted to level 9. There was no change in the amount of radicals for this population. On the whole of France, I think we got 40,000 new radicals. Time to raise productions again. Okay, they promoted. Let's wait a bit more. This pop lost about 85,000 radicals, and in total we reduced our radicals to 4.5 million. Before we go again, we can even micromanage the stuff more. The progress towards a new wealth level cannot change faster than 25% in 1 week. So we can actually use very high taxes for 3 weeks. This gives us the plus 50% more radicals modifier, but no one will have enough time to demote in 3 weeks, and we get more money and speed up the process. Back to our peasant pop. 1 week, 2, 3 weeks. To be safe, reduce taxes now. These guys demoted. We wait a bit extra time in case some other pop was near demoting. Again, barely any change in radicals. Raise food supply again. Wait some time. And we are down to 2.7 million radicals. Okay, I will continue this for some time and see you when it's done. I repeated the cycle 4 more times, and now I have reached 7.6 million loyalists and gained 9 million loyalists within the last year. And look at these approval bonuses due to loyalists. Plus 11 approval for the industrialists. They already had plus 9 at the beginning of our stunt, but they still increased. It's probably a knock-on effect. We lowered the standard of living of many people, thus reduced demand for everything, so also clothes, for example. Then factories make less money, so some industrialists were affected by the cycle as well. Depending on your modifiers, this trick can be helpful to reduce turmoil in a newly conquered state. We won't have access to our institutions, but I still have enough modifiers. Let me prove that to you. At first, we declare a war for Flanders. The British will help the Belgians, but I have no interest in the war itself. So I'm going to switch to Belgium and give in. Splendid, back to France. So Flanders belongs to us, has 63% turmoil, and a lot of radicals. Let's have a look at the active modifiers in Flanders. For accepted Pops, and Christian Europeans are accepted, we have minus 55% radicals and plus 65% loyalists. After multiplying these with the base values, we have 2.7% radicals and 6.6% loyalists when the standard of living changes. So we gain about 4% loyalists per cycle. At first, we will wait some time until the Pops in Flanders have adjusted to our market and taxes. Let's watch this labourer Pop. It reached level 9 and it seems to be done with leveling up. Turmoil was reduced to 54.9%, but we can reduce that further easily. You already know how it works, so I skipped some time and have already done one cycle. Now if we look at Flanders, we can see that turmoil was reduced by about 6%, because some Pops increased and decreased 2 levels, and my total loyalists increased to 10 million. So depending on your modifiers and if they are accepted Pops or not, you can use this strategy to reduce turmoil in newly conquered states. If you want to learn why the professional army law is a political trap law, click on the top video. Thanks a lot for watching, please consider liking and subscribing.